Well, it's pre-New Year's Day or whatever, last day of 2023, which has been a stressful and depressing year, of course. But the snowblower's back up and running. I think you know it was broke. Earlier this year, I pulled it out of storage forgetting that the paddles on it were broke, so got a brand new set of paddles on there, just purchased. And after I ran that, I noticed that it, well, before I put the new paddles on, I noticed it was leaking. And the carburetor bowl, I thought my actual problem was a gasket on there being bad and then leaking all over the place, but it looks like it was just loose from it vibrating with the broken paddles, so that's been fixed. So this should be ready to go. And also, the paddles kind of roll, if that makes sense. It's kind of interesting. I've never used a snowblower with fresh paddles yet, so I'm excited to see how this one does later when we start to use it this season. This Craftsman over here, it needs a carburetor. Well, actually, it has a carburetor, just needs rebuilt. It's in the process. And then this 522's has a brand new aftermarket carburetor right up here, and that's going to go in it. And this one over here still has a diaphragm carburetor, so we're going to get a diaphragm carburetor put in that thing, and then we can use that eventually. So we'll have, I don't know how many, like 4, but that one I'm selling. So that's happening. We'll fire it up. I was on a video call yesterday night with Zach's Mowers working on this thing, and I told him that this thing normally fires up first pull, and it took like 15 pulls to fire, which is kind of crazy. So let's actually see if it fires up. We'll actually check to see if there's gas in here first to make sure it did not leak overnight. We still have gas in there, so that's good. Ignition is on. I forgot to choke it, but that somehow worked in my favor. It looks like this thing doesn't need choke. It is, I think, about 30, something mid-30s maybe possibly 40s maybe. I don't know. It's still cold enough to see my breath, but it's not cold enough that I'm uncomfortable. So, but I'm also wearing layers, so I don't know. So this thing runs. The snowblower's ready. Oh, and the big snowblower. I got this one over the summer. It still needs lots of work. I got to get a recoil on there. Got to get a carburetor for it. I'm thinking I can source a recoil or make my own. I'm going to try to see, because it's just a Tecumseh. I don't think a normal Tecumseh one for like a push mower like this. This engine over here, yeah, that won't work because it doesn't have the same cowling that this big behemoth has. So I have to get pretty I don't know, or just source one for it. And the electric start on this works. I know this is falling off, but it does work somehow. You know if this is one of the ones, the plastic starter gears or not. Seems like it's metal if it hasn't broke yet. This thing is gigantic. Eventually, if I ever do save up enough money, I'll spend my money on a Toro Power Max and get myself something nice. You're probably surprised I didn't say Ariens, but the new Ariens stuff just feels very cheesy. Yeah. I'm also a Toro fanboy right now anyway. So that's pretty good. So thank you very much for watching, and keep the breeze and stay cozy this year. Happy New Year.